very much for inviting me here to celebrate women in their heels. Being with you guys from Surrey, I think we better say we're celebrating women in the world. Because we are going to celebrate, I'm not going to be talking about horrific experiences in some of my, I should say, graphic experiences in my past life. So let's just stick to now and where I'm going from here. But briefly, I'm just going to touch back to where I was 17 when I got married. Like a good girl, I'm married to a guy that my parents thought that it's what I should marry. I was a medical student at the time. I was young and I was naive, and we're talking about almost 30 years ago. 30 years ago, a 17-year-old did not know much. Anyway, basically from the first night of me being a young bride, I knew it was a mistake. I went to my parents and I said, I think it's some mistake, it's there, I don't think I can live with this man. And they said, you get used to it, he will get used to you, love will grow, just stay there. 2 months later, things just got worse, out of control. The pressure, the controlling, the abuse was getting to a point that I felt I can't cope anymore. So I went to my parents and I said, I just can't do it anymore. This guy is almost, I think he's mad. And I'm 17 years old, right? So they wouldn't listen to me. They said, he just loves you. And he will just, if he's controlling, it's just because he loves you. If he tells you to don't dress up nicely because he's jealous, and his jealousy is because he loves you. He burned my dress at night when we came back from a party because I looked really good in that dress. And I did tell my mum, I couldn't talk to my dad. We always were scared of him. Back then, dads were this a scary thing that you couldn't talk to much. And my mum said, if your dad finds out about this, he will kill all of us. You can't play with our reputation. I said, I'm on divorce, Mum. He burned my dress in his balcony. This man is crazy. And my dad did hear about the story, and he did offer to put us in fire if I talk about divorce. So I thought, I obviously don't want to be burned to death. I'm going to stay in this marriage. And the pressure was getting harder and harder and harder. And of course, my lovely uncle, aunties, the older in my family, they said, you know what you need to do? To bring a baby to this marriage. A baby will save you, will bring you guys together closer. And that beautiful Niusha is the result of that consultation, which I'm absolutely grateful to have her. Things were getting worse. The pressure was getting harder and harder. And they say, you know what, bring the second one. That's what usually happens, you bring your kids, you bring their family close together. And Nilufa came. We had to flee the country because of some political issues that my ex-husband had with the government at the time. We flew to Turkey with 2 little kids. Nilufa was 13 months old, Niusha was 5. We literally left the country with 1 luggage and nothing else. And in that luggage, it was clothes for 2 kids and few books that we thought it's going to be our ticket to the other side of the world. I came to Australia in August 2000, and I have to be honest with you guys, when I came to Australia, I hated Australia. I hated every single minute of my life in Australia. Do you know why? Because I was too far from my safe shore. I was too far from my family, from my mom, from my friends, and I was stuck into this abusive relationship with this man that I can say today, he could be the most narcissistic and abusive man. And I'm sorry, Nusha and Nilfar, I don't want to. I did change my speech a few times because I didn't want to talk too much about that. But anyway, I came to Australia. I couldn't speak English. I didn't have any support. I had two beautiful kids to hold on to. Eventually, depression was coming. I was crying every single day. And I told him and I begged him and I said, can you please let me go? Let me go to work. I just a few hours. And that was kind of, he couldn't accept it very well. So every single morning when I was leaving home like this. Please, I want to go to work. I can't live here. Eventually, I won, but he would make it so difficult, so I give up. And I'm glad I didn't. I started doing hairdressing and I started working in my English. Because I had little kids, I couldn't leave them anywhere, so I had to learn English by myself. Bananas and pajamas and wiggles where I learned English with the girls, just sitting and watching them over and over and over. Going to work, I start finding myself. I start growing. And I start growing to the point that I think I was in the age of 31 or 32. It was the first time, just to let you know that how naive I was and how naive my medical husband kept me. That it was the age of 32 for the first time I learned about, maybe I shouldn't say it, but I'm gonna say it. No, I'm not gonna say it.
Say it.
Okay. I was in the age 32 for the first time when I learned about orgasm. And it was a huge discovery, of course. The girls know these days in the age of 8, I think it was. Anyway, I lived in that marriage for 22 years. And I'm going to raise $1 million question that I'm sure every single one of you at least once ask yourself when you come across a case of domestic violence and abusive relationship. I'm sure you ask yourself, why these people stay in this relationship? Why they don't leave? And I know I'm smart, and I know I'm strong, and I can prove it to you I am. For 22 years, I was asking myself a bloody wrong question. I was asking myself, how can I cope? Just think about something that you can cope the situation. How can you stay in a relationship? How can you keep the family together every single day, every single minute? And you know what? Every single day, every single minute that I was asking that question, I was coming with the brilliant idea, and I coped for 22 years. And that shows how strong I was, because I was living in that relationship. Until one night. However, still the question was remaining, how am I doing this? Like, the pressure was too much. Like, you cannot even imagine. Just imagine if you could. Every single day, someone call you. You know, when you're walking in the room, the first thing I notice, it's your nose. Ha 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 ha. You're is too big. Don't smile. We'll hold your mouth when you're smiling. And you know, for how many years I was actually smiling like that? So every time he was using all those negative words, he was digging me deeper and deeper. And I almost get to the point that I didn't exist. I was living for someone else. 22 years of living under that pressure. Many years I was studying human mind, human behavior, going through so many self-development courses to be able to pick up myself, pick up my pieces and put them back together to be who I am today. I found the answer to that million-dollar question. Why people stay in domestic violence and abuse relationship. And I'm going to share it with you guys. Look, all those study, all those work, all those self-development courses, they were good. But again, I had to take a hike, and I'm literally telling you, I did take a hike. I put my backpack and I started walking. I walked almost about 1,000 kilometers through the mountain, through the forest, across the rivers. And this question was bothering me, not because of me anymore, because I am in a great place. I'm the happiest girl that you can meet for probably another 10 years or 20 while I'm young. But I found the answer. And if you only promise me, I don't want anything by sharing this, but one promise is that you will take this answer that I'm going to give you in minutes, and only what I'm asking is to share this with one more person outside of this room. Would you do that? Thank you. I'll tell you a little story. It was in 2011. I went to a little town close to Newcastle when my husband was practicing as a medical doctor to find him with another woman. Of course, things got a little bit messy. I started screaming, crying, and of course, at 1 o'clock in the morning, he kicked me out of that house. And the young girl, she was 25 at the time, I told her, do you know who I am? She said, yes, you must be Mrs. Terry. I said, oh, great. So you know he's married. And she said, yeah, but he said you're going through separation. I said, oh, fantastic, because this morning he left the home. We were not going through separation. I was crying, I was screaming. He kicked me out, and I'm still crying, and I'm still screaming, and he called the police. He called the police to come and get this crazy woman screaming outside my door for no reason. And the police came. It was a lovely police lady. She came, and she saw the story, and then she asked me, you need to leave. And I said, okay, I'm leaving. As I sat in my car, and I'm crying, okay, my eyes are bawling out and I can't see anything. And she actually stepped out of her car and he goes, wait, wait, wait. And I stopped the car and she said, how about the coffee in my office before you hit the road? And I said, that would be great because I can't even see where I'm going. We went to the police station at 1 a.m. and now I'm like a little bit ashamed of my behavior and I'm trying to explain to her, this and that. She said, stop. You don't need to explain anything. I saw everything. You are living with a demon. She used few words that I haven't heard for the past 22 years of my life that night. the time, I didn't know what happened. She used that few words and I left. And the next morning, I put my separation down and everything was official. 6 years later, walking 1,000 kilometers, studying psychology, counseling, going through books and books and books. Now I can go back and I can see the thing was different that night. Because I could have lived another 22 years with that situation. I'm that strong that I could. But the things that changed the whole game around that night, it was that few words. To stay in the long-term abusive relationship, ladies and gentlemen, you must be under the spell of black magic. The people staying in that relationship, they're just like a walking dead. They have no idea what they're doing, where they're going, how they're getting ready, what they're eating, how they're going to everyday life. Because being under the abusive relationship, the pressure, it makes you dead inside. So nothing is left. But how? How is that happening? I find out, and I'm sure some of you will agree with that. Negative words, negative thoughts, and negative behaviors are so powerful that can put a spell on yourself, on anybody that you use. It could be even your loved one. And if you're not be careful about your words that you're using, you actually can put a spell on your beautiful kids, your beautiful husband, brother, sister, friends at work. So please be impeccable with your words. And impeccable means being seamless. So you must be careful with the words you're using. Negative words are so powerful. They act like black magic. And that night, what happened? That woman, that police woman in that office, broke the spell. It broke the spell that was on me for 22 years. She used 3 little sentences that today I know you can use to break any spells, any black magic spells on yourself or anybody around you. These words are magical. You know what she told me? After 22 years, I haven't heard those words from nobody. She told me, you deserve to be respected. She told me, you deserve to be loved. You deserve to be happy. Just go and take your life with you. This man is a demon. I was so exhausted. It was almost 2 o'clock in the morning. I didn't know exactly what's happening, but something started building up inside me. A little light, a little courage, a little hope. And you know what? From that day, everything started changing in my life. Today, I'm standing here and I'm on the mission to empower the women. I'm on the mission to change life. Today, in my salon, which is a hair salon, it's a little hair salon, but it's different with every other hair salon you walked in. We transform lives. In fact, follow me on social media, because in 2 weeks' time, Channel 7 is coming down to film what I do. When I say I transform life, I transform life. From my clients, now I collect donations to take to the homeless people in the city. I cut their hair, I give them talk. And you know, they don't know I'm using those white magic, the love words, the caring words, to break the spell in their life. Because it's not their fault that they're there. They didn't choose to be there, like I didn't choose to be in that horrible relationship for many years. I just didn't have the power to leave because I was under the spell. There is a video out there, you can watch. The video went out yesterday and it's already viral, and I'm so pleased about that. Follow me on Facebook. I would love to be in touch with every single one of you. If you have anything to donate to the homeless people, you can drop it to my salon. Lovely Jen always makes me so happy when she comes with a bag of beanies and socks, and thank you so much for that. And before I leave, just in case, to make sure none of you are under the spell, can I get you to repeat after me? And the secret is, you say it like you mean it. Are you ready? I deserve to be loved.
I deserve to be loved.
Can I ask you to say it a little bit louder? Like how you mean it. Guys, we're going to break any black magic and any spell. Ready? I deserve to be loved. I deserve to be happy. And I deserve to be respected. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.